unbox the WeDo?
In this box, it's pretty cool. What I've done also, guys, is the maps that you have on the back of here, I put a PDF in the resources that we're going to share later so that you can print this out so that the kids can have a copy of it so that they can start to see the blocks. And the naming of the blocks, you know, like the 2-dot one, the square 4-dot, like those are kind of the words that we use for describing the various pieces. And you know, you open it up and you got all the pieces, right? There's lots of gears and wheels and axles and stuff like that for you to make kind of mechanical types of things. And you don't have a Batman, but he's guarding my WeDo set for me, so he stays in there. Now, the real cool part is these wires that we have. Now, in the first one, let me just get this out of the way. Okay, so Lego, I mean, the kids know Lego, they've grown up with it. Why I took these out are, these are the components that will allow you to kind of create some cool stuff that's more mechanical. Now, in the first WeDo, you do have a motor, and there are a couple of other little, there's not necessarily, there's a couple of sensors in there, but you do have to have it tethered, which means you got to have it plugged in. With the new one, it's all battery powered. So let's put some batteries in this, and I want to just show you how this is the brain. Okay, they call this the brick, and this is kind of the brain of it. Will tell the sensors what to do based on the program you've made. So to open this, you just have to slide it. So if the green arrow is facing you furthest away from you, you slide it in the opposite direction. It will just pop open. It's pretty amazing. This is the brain, just this lid. That's where all the brain is, right inside there. So I'm going to put a couple of batteries in here. You need 2 AA, and you should be ready to rock and roll. And then I'm just going to take it and slide it back on. Okay, so very simple to insert the batteries, and they last a really long time, the batteries. So once you put them in, they should last, you know, a month or so at least. Unless you're like running the motor for like an hour, that will suck the battery out. So once that's done, I'm pretty much ready to go. I can start to tinker. Now, a couple of things. You have a motor. Again, this can rotate in both directions, and you can control the speed with it. The cool thing, though, is we have these 2 sensors, all right? And this is really what makes WeDo. So the one that has the eyes on it is a distance sensor, right? So it understands if I move my hand further and closer to it, it will react. It will get a reading, and then we can tell it to do stuff. And we're going to play with this in one of our challenges. And the next one with the arrows, this is our tilt sensor, which means I can get this thing to react when I tilt this in directions, whatever direction I want. Okay, so it does a 360 of that. Now, like I said, this is a Bluetooth connector. All right, so to connect this, pretty easy to do it. I hold down the green button, and you're going to get the light that flashes. So that means it's looking for a device that has a Bluetooth compatibility, and it wants to connect to it. So wherever you might be on, if you have your iPad, and I'm just going to do the technical part, and then Craig's going to jump into how the programming works. But for the app itself, if I have mine on my iPad, and you can see up in the top corner, there's my brick, right? There's this thing. So I want this to connect via this little icon in the top corner. Now, how I got there, I just went to a new project. So as soon as you open it up, you come to this main screen. I select new project, and there is my block. So again, I have Bluetooth turned on my iPad, and then I just click on the button. It'll start to flash. I'll open this up. It sees it, and I just select it, and it turns blue. When it's blue, it means we're good to go. All right, it's a solid blue, and now we're ready to program. Okay, so that's kind of the brick and how we hook it up to the iPad or to your computer or to an Android device. The cool thing about the WeDo is there's so many platforms. It's universal to so many different platforms. So you'll find a program. You can put it on a PC, you can put it on a Mac, etc. Now, As for the sensors, they just plug in the back. All right, so they'll just plug in, and I can hook up 2 at a time. So I could hook up a motor and a sensor, and we're going to do that in a minute, to play with it. All right, and then all the programming happens underneath.